Hi, I'm Lee from Louleigh.com and this is my podcast about my handmade life. You can find me on Instagram as Louleigh_ and on Ravelry as Louleigh, and I have an Etsy shop where I sell knitting cases, notions cases and needle cases at Shop Louleigh on Etsy. It's so nice to have you here. Thank you so much for popping in and having a cup of coffee with me. It's really good to be chatting with you again. And the last time I was here I told you about the new pattern that I had put out, my favourite toe-up socks pattern, and you can download that for free by joining my newsletter at Louleigh.com. And so many of you already have, and it's really exciting to see people casting on that pattern over on Instagram. You can use the hashtag Louleigh's socks, and yeah, it's really nice to see people's socks popping up in my feed. That's really exciting, so thank you very much for sharing that with me. This is community news. There is a Louleigh Ravelry group, and it would be really exciting if you would pop over and come and join us in the Ravelry group, say hi, or join in one of the things that we have going on. And the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, one second, come on, up you come. So, okay, this is, in case you haven't been here before, this is my little dog. And he is inspecting my garden for cats, so yeah, there'll be a little fluffy pom-pom head here, maybe not. Anyway, so in the Louleigh Ravelry group we had the Advent mini skein swap going along. So what we've been doing is every quarter we're swapping 6 mini skeins, so that come December we have a homemade advent calendar that we can open up every day, and maybe you'll knit advent socks, maybe you have another project in mind. Yeah, and so that's what people are doing. They've been joining in and just swapping 6 mini skeins every quarter. You don't have to save your mini skeins to make an advent calendar. You can just join in the swap to put things into your blanket and to get new mini skeins for that. Or if you want to, you can do what I'm doing and use the mini skeins that you get to supplement an advent calendar that you're making for somebody else. Or maybe both. Maybe you're making an advent calendar for yourself and somebody else. But yeah, so don't feel that you have to be putting together an advent calendar in order to come and join that swap. You might have a different requirement for mini skeins in your life. But that will close at the end of this month. This is quarter 3 already. That seems spooky, but anyway. It'll close at the end of this month, and I will pair people up. I do my best to sort of look at, some people don't want to send parcels abroad and that sort of thing, or some people are happy to send them anywhere in the world. So yes, I shall pair everybody up at the end of the month, and we shall swap for quarter 3. So if that's something that interests you, please pop over to the group and join in there. We also have the Stash Depreciating Shawl along going on in the Louleigh Ravelry group, which has been really fun. It seems that a lot of you had shawl whips laying about the house that you needed to finish off. Yeah, and a lot of you have been stash diving and finding really pretty yarns for your shawls. It's been really inspiring to see what other people are doing. There's some really nice projects in there. So if you need some shawl inspiration, pop over there and have a look. I have been knitting on the Jodie shawl, which is a pattern by Hohi Locatelli. I'm going to show you it all scrunched up on my needles, which is never terribly exciting in shawl knitting. I'm on to the 3rd colour, and actually I'd been wondering if I actually liked the 3rd colour, but when I look at it on the screen there, I do like it a lot. So I started off with a Eden Cottage yarn. Let me fish it out of the bag. The last time I showed you this, and I was talking about this yarn, I was completely reading off the wrong tag. So this is silk merino. It's Titus by Eden Cottage, and it's in the wild raspberry colourway. And I was gifted this for Christmas. So yeah, that was the first colour that I put in. And then I have just finished with this colour. See, messy balls, never mind. With this colour here, which is a really pretty yarn that I was gifted as well, and that's from a homespun house. It's soft sock fingering, and the colour is heart-shaped box, and it has little pops of I think I called it snot green last time, and violet, and yeah, it's just a really pretty colour. But those two kind of just blend together. And then finally I am finishing off with some hedgehog fibres, and this, if I read off the correct tag, is, the colour is Salty Tails, and I think it's just their sock yarn is what they call it. So yeah, and it has a similar snot green in it, and the violet as well. So it just provides a little bit more contrast around the edge of the shawl, whereas these ones blend in quite well together. They sort of, I'm not going to use the F word. Yeah, they blend together. And yeah, when I first added in the Salty Tails at the end, I was a little bit, I didn't like just the stripe, but I think as a big band of something that has a bit of contrast to it, it'll be look quite nice. And actually, if I was going to do it again, I think I would change the order of these two colours as well. I would do the speckled homespun house one first, and then the Eden Cottage, but I think this is going to be really pretty when it's finished. So all I have to do now, I've done with all the striping, and I just have to do the Salty Tails all around the edge, and I'm really looking forward to getting this one off the needles and to blocking it. It's going to be a gift, which is really exciting as well. That's actually part of the reason why I'm looking forward to getting it off to the needles, because I'm really pleased with it, and I think it's going to be a lovely gift. I was going to save it to Christmas, but I'm not that sort of person. When I finish something and I'm excited to gift it, which is usually what happens, then saving it is just not an option. I'm also the sort of person that at Christmas time would forget that I had put it aside. So, and I think it's nice to just get a gift just because, not because it's your birthday or not because it's Christmas, but just because someone thought of you. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I have another shawl that I think I showed you a couple of weeks ago that I'm looking forward to getting out again and putting some rows on. That will also be for the Stash Depreciating shawl along. So yeah, I think the rules for that one was that it had to be over 100 grams, and you had to use you had to break into a second skein. Stash, to qualify it as stash, it had to be something you bought before the 1st of April, I think. So anything you bought at EYF totally counts. And whips count, of course, because it's not stashed till it's finished. I think those are all the rules. Anyway, if you want to join in, come and pop over to the Ravelry group. It'll be lovely to see you there. Oh, and it runs until the end of August. Just because I have that much needle adjacent shawl yarn in my stash that I can definitely go till then. Actually, I should put this label back in the bag before I lose that one too. I'm going to show you traced it again this week. Yeah, you're probably sick of it by now, but I have finished both sleeves. I decided to take the edging off the sleeves just because I feel that for me the yoke is enough, and I just sort of think, oh Lee, you're so unfun. And then I put it on and I liked it. So by put it on I mean that I've washed all of this now. So I put on the torso and I put on the sleeves just to see that everything was the right length, and I am going to add a few more rows to the bottom of the torso. I haven't cast off the rib there, so I'm going to make that just a tiny bit longer. And also when I put on the sleeves I realised that I need to make them a little bit longer as well. So I'll actually pick up the stitches. This is on scrap yarn. I'll pick up the stitches from the sleeve cap here and just knit down a bit, and when it's long enough I shall graft on the appropriate sleeve. So yeah, nearly at the end of that. I'm not going to promise to have finished that by next week because yeah, you know how things go here, right? I don't necessarily finish things that quickly. Things have a time span of their own here. Oh, Bobby wants to say hello this week. Come on, I have 2 dogs. So you've seen number 1. This is my number 2 dog. He's my favourite dog. He's the best one. And you're the best one. Yes, you're the best one. I can only see the fluffy top of your head there. Anyway, hop down. Bobby down. Bobby down. Hop down. Down boy. So the last thing that I have to show you this week is something that I'm so excited about. And that is Buddy the bear. And this one has been a sort of like an ongoing project as well, just because I didn't have all the stuff to finish him all at once. And I had to mail order some of it as well, doll needles and such. I used to have all that stuff because back when I was at university and didn't have a sewing machine, I used to hand sew jointed bears, you know, the old-fashioned type, that sort of similar to stiff bears, except probably not the same quality. I used to really enjoy making those. So yeah, I've really enjoyed making Buddy. And I have sewed on his smile. It is wonky, and I like a wonky smile because people's faces are not symmetrical, and so I think that just makes him seem a little bit cheeky and a little bit more alive. Yeah, a little bit less stuffed. And in the pattern he has a belly button, and so I had posted on Instagram to see if I should put a belly button on Buddy, and the majority said yes, but it wasn't like a resounding yes. But yeah, I went with the hive mind, and put a belly button on Buddy. His paws have this lovely orange on it here as well. His feet have this lovely orange on it as well. I made him out of wool felt. The Buddy the Bear pattern is by Crafty Kuka, and it was easy to follow and to put together. They actually have videos on how to do faces and things like that. But it is fairly straightforward. Some of the corners and things are a little, you just need to take your time getting around them on your sewing machine if you're not a terribly experienced sewer. And he has reignited my love of making toys. I don't know who I'm going to gift this to yet. I'm still deciding, because there are quite a few babies turning up in the world and in our life at the moment. Yeah, so I haven't decided where Buddy is going to be rehomed to. I also decided to put a label on his bottom. Yeah, and the hairy man was sort of like, oh, you should have sewed it into the seam like I bought one, but I think it looks quite nice just popped on there like a patch just here. Yeah, because he's not a bought bear, he is a handmade bear. So yeah, I am so pleased with the way he's come out. I would definitely, this is the second Crafty Kuka pattern that I've made. I tried out their unicorn pattern, which was good fun as well, and a pretty easy one to do too. And I would love to make more of their patterns, but I have another toy lined up to make. I have all of the stuff at the outset this time from a different pattern designer, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah. So that's Buddy. I don't want to put him down, I just want to keep showing him off. I think he's just really lovely and characterful, and I can't wait to gift him to someone. So yeah, that is all from me and Buddy today. I think my focus for the coming week is going to be much the same as it has been for the last few weeks. My little dog is back. Yeah, it's going to be much the same as it has been for the last few weeks. I want to finish the Jodie shawl and gift that, and I want to work on Traced, whether or not I finish it will be another thing. And also this weekend I want to sort of hide in the factory here and do some personal sewing and finish off the silk cami that I showed you a few weeks ago. A little piece of me wants it to rain, because otherwise I really want to spend some time in the garden as well. But anyway, so we shall see how all that turns out. It's been so nice to come and have a chat with you. I've forgotten what I usually say at the end. Anyway, it's been lovely to have a chat with you. I hope you'll come and join us in the Ravelry group. And if you enjoy hearing me witter along about my woolly friend here, then you can like and subscribe below, and I shall see you next time. Cheerio!